time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
So, Ahsoka Episode 8 ended, I think, with a lot of questions that need to be answered. And we go from Ahsoka and Sabine and Ezra getting attacked, Ezra talking to Hugh Yang about Kanan Jarrus, and getting a crystal from Kanan's from Hugh Yang that actually belonged to Kanan. Grand Admiral Thrawn is planning now that he's got all the cargo that he's taking, which I'll talk about that later, onto the Chimera, is planning to leave. But with Ahsoka still being alive and surviving one attack after another, they've really got to, he's really got to have a delaying action so he can get out. Morgan, because she could sense the witches, the Great Mothers, was inducted into their order of the Great Mothers, and she was given the sword of Talzin. Ezra and Sabine and Ahsoka go forth to try to stop Thrawn one more time on their howlers, and then we have this Grand Admiral Thrawn knows that they're coming, so he basically has the Great Mothers make it so when a stormtrooper is killed, he comes back to life. They're like zombies, and after they're dead, they're shot. They kind of move like zombies too. And some people were talking about it was going to be witches or something, and it's not. And before, when you saw Thrawn's stormtroopers getting killed, they just died. So this zombie stuff is new for the show. Okay, so then we've got Ahsoka and Ezra and Sabine making their way to, I guess you call that rocky outcropping, a temple.
Always remember, your focus determines your reality.
So they make their way into the temple, and this is where they get attacked by the stormtroopers with the red. It looks like a piece of Japanese artwork that what they do is they take a flaw and turn it into part of the artwork. And Thrawn basically says to Morgan Elsbeth, it's time for you to sacrifice a little bit here. So Morgan goes with the sword of Talzin to fight the Jedi, and it was an epic battle. And before she gets there, these guys are killing stormtroopers. They're coming back. Ahsoka goes, have you ever seen that before? And Ezra says no. So this is the first time, and he's been on Peridea for a long time. The first time he's seen it. So while this is all happening, Grand Admiral Thrawn basically says to his the droid at the helm of the Chimera, all right, let's shove out, let's go. We have a Luke Skywalker moment with Sabine finally being able to use a little of the Force to kill a Dark Trooper who was not a zombie. Then Ezra and Sabine try to jump onto the ship, and Sabine looks back and sees Morgan and Ahsoka fighting, so she stays, but she helps Ezra get into the ship by using force push he jumps, and then she pushes him with the force. Morgan Elsbeth dies when Sabine goes back to help Ahsoka. Ahsoka kills her, which was, I was shocked. And then Ahsoka and Sabine take off in the Fulcrum, and the Fulcrum basically destroys that temple. So that whole like rocky monolith went right down. It's gone. And the Great Mothers are in the Chimera with Grand Admiral Thrawn, who is leaving Peridia's atmosphere, and he's told, hey, the Jedi are following. So Thrawn starts taunting Ahsoka with Anakin. He knows who she is. He knows who she trained with, la, la, la. And it is very interesting that he would do this, but it also shows that he thinks she's weak. Now, Ezra is on the Chimera. He killed a stormtrooper when he got on board the ship, and you're going to see him right here. He's looking at the dead body, and he's going to drag this away. He'll save this for later. And as you notice, he was killing stormtroopers because those are stormtrooper dog tags. Here you see Fulcrum leaving that temple where, I'm going to say it, that thing went down. You can see it. Chasing off after Thrawn. Grand Admiral Thrawn. They get to where they need to go out of the gravity well of Peridia, and he starts taunting Ahsoka. And this scene right here, again, I'm going to go back to taunting Ahsoka. When he's doing that, he's basically telling her she's never going to get back. I'm out of here. And he knows what would bother her, because what became of Anakin. Now, they get back, what else happens is, when the Chimera jumps into hyperspace, again, it knocks the Fulcrum around, but we don't get the Holdo effect, because Holdo effect is bullshit. Ahsoka and Sabine go back, hang out with Ezra's little turtle buddies, and while they're in transition to go to I guess find shelter with the turtle buddies, Morai shows up. Morai is an owl, and Morai is a sign of the daughter. All right, the daughter of Mortis. Remember that arc in Clone Wars? And Morai is something that always shows up for Ahsoka. Anytime she needs help or whatever, Morai is there. And there's Morai taking off. And I thought that was really neat because it's foretelling something else. So here I have Balin Skull standing on what looks to be, from the back, a rocky outcropping looking into the mountains. These are not plains. These are mountains. And he's looking out towards what could be in the center of that. But when you see what he's doing, standing, this is a good picture. There's the father of Mortis, what I'm going to call a stony, monolithic statue of the father of Mortis. So Mortis is going to be a big factor in the next few episodes of Ahsoka, or the next season. Because if you remember right from Rebels, the only member of the father, son, and daughter whose eyes lit up at the temple in Lothal is the son. And I think he was the voice whispering to Ahsoka in episode 1 of Ahsoka. And here's the full picture. Father putting his arm out and the son standing next to him. The daughter is not present in this. I didn't realize that was the sun until I took this picture. I was like, I was looking at the father completely like, yay. And then I see the son standing there and I'm like, oh my God. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Balin knows about the Mortis gods. The Jedi did know about them. I don't know, maybe someone else knows this. If Anakin and Obi-Wan ever talked to Yoda about about having that experience in Mortis, I really don't know. Now you've got a better picture of the sun, and these are ancient, weathered sculptures. But what's interesting to me is that the father's eyes are black, and you really can't see any of the discernible life in the son's eyes. But I think that's who's calling to Balin. Now, again, other people are theorizing that it's the Aboleth, who would be the quote-unquote mother of the son and daughter, calling to Balin, but I don't think it is. Okay, but this was probably my favorite part. Then we've got Chimera entering into orbit above Dathomir, which this Thrawn in the galaxy now doesn't make sense with the sequel trilogy. Okay, I'm gonna put that out there. I don't fucking care how many yoga instructors come after me for whatever delusions they have. They're Thrawn and this great mother's looking at the cargo, which look like caskets to me. So I'm gonna assume that those are Dathomirian witches. Then we go to Home 1, and there's Hera standing on the hangar deck, and an Imperial shuttle shows up. Okay. And somebody comes out, and it actually made me really happy. It was Ezra. He says, "Hi, Hera. I'm home." And when we get back to Ahsoka and Sabine on Peridea, Sabine says, "We failed to stop Thrawn." Ahsoka says, "Ezra got home. He's where he's meant to be. We're where where we are meant to be." Okay. Then Sabine is standing there looking out towards these lights that are falling from the sky. Says, Ahsoka asks her, "What's wrong?" She says, "Oh, I just sense some shadows or something." Ahsoka senses it, turns around, and as they walk away, they're being watched by Anakin Skywalker. And I was just happy to see him. Did he take over to keep the balance of the Force for the father? You know, watching episode 5 and seeing him teach Ahsoka one more lesson made me think he's not just Force Ghost Anakin. Okay? He is the chosen one to bring balance, which means he is literally taken over from the father. Now, the first picture of him, he looks pensive, and then he looks, pretty relaxed, like, I think they can handle this. So what is happening? We've got Grand Admiral Thrawn back in the galaxy. Ezra's back in the galaxy. Okay. In Peridea, in the other place, Sabine and Ahsoka and Hu Yang are basically stranded. We've got Shin Hati joining these mercenaries, and of course Balin, who may be opening up a can of worms that they don't really need to have opened up. But I could see Balin falling for something that the son would say, because the son knows what people want. Okay, the son would say order, whatever, and Balin would follow it. Okay, so we'll have to see where this goes, but I do think that we are definitely going to get a season 2 now. I know for a fact through Sparrow that they're gearing up for it. The scripts are done; they're in the vault, and once SAG-AFTRA get their agreement with studios, balls to the walls. Anyway, I loved it. I give this episode 10 out of 10 because of the deep lore. This is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.